Just want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Tech Academy. Tech Academy is a software development boot camp which offers online or in-person training. Their program is self-paced and offers students flexible scheduling. They also offer open enrollment, which means you can start at any time. So if you're looking for a coding boot camp, I definitely recommend checking them out.
Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. Just finished my run, a 5-mile run here. My first workout of the day. I'll be lifting weights a little bit later today. And I'm just out here on the beach. You can check it out behind me. I recorded a video, one of those videos about sort of struggling hard times, but a victory in it, right? Because I've done a lot of videos. I have a whole I fucked up playlist because I fuck up, right? We all fuck up from time to time. But I want to talk about like a victory that I had yesterday when things went sour, right? But I held on. And that doesn't always happen, right? A lot of times, you know, you mess up and you get into that self-destructive behavior, what I call that Hulk mentality. You can check out the video I did on am I fucking up simple programmer and self-destructive. And by the way, any of these videos, by the way, if you're new to the channel, just, you know, they'll be in the cards, they'll be in the links in the description below. My best advice to you, because there's a whole lot of videos here, there's like 2,000 videos on the channel, is to just go ahead and open up in a new window and then you can watch it later. And it'll all kind of weave together and it'll link you to other videos, because that's how I roll. So anyway, hopefully the sound's not too bad on this with the waves and everything, but yesterday was one of those days where I just, you know, I ran my first 5 miles. Like the goal for the day was to run 5 miles, run another 5 miles, and then to do my Muay Thai. And I ran the first 5 miles and that was cool. It went all right. And then on the second 5 miles of the day, a little bit later, I had taken some yohimbine, which I was doing I won't get into the details of that, but for some reason it was spiking my heart rate, and this was like hours afterwards, and I couldn't make it. I couldn't make the run. Like I died out. I mean, I barely made it 2 miles. Like my heart rate was spiking. So I stopped at 2 miles, and what I did was, and I also was lacking the motivation, but what I did was I kept walking, right? And I just walked and I finished it. I finished the 5 miles by walking, you know, and then I was thinking, man, I'm not gonna make it to kickboxing. I am dead, right? How am I gonna do, you know, Muay Thai class is hard. It's hard shit. That's the hardest workout I ever do. I'm always drenched in sweat. So, you know, this is one of those times where, you know, I had that moment of clarity in my mind where I said to myself, I said, look, here's the opportunity, right? You know, here's a time where you hold the line. Here's a time where you just don't fuck it up. Like, you're not gonna maybe make, you know, huge progress, maybe a little bit of forward progress, but the key here is not to fuck it up. So I said, okay, well, what's the minimum I could do? So I went to the grocery store, got some food for the evening, and normally I don't eat until after Muay Thai. Normally I fast until like 7 at night on those days. But I grabbed some healthy food, grabbed some vegetables, you know, grabbed some chicken, whatnot, grabbed some bone broth, and I had a few calories, right? I had a little bit of bone broth, I had maybe some celery with some peanut butter on it, a banana, you know, and it's just enough to get me to be able to get through so that I'd actually show up and get to the class. And I did the class, you know, gave it my all. Then afterwards, I stuck to the healthy meal and ate the meal that I'm supposed to eat. Even though I was lacking the motivation, even though I was feeling like shit, even though I didn't feel like doing any of that stuff, because I had the clarity of mind at that point to say, hey, look, the big thing here is that you don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? That's the key. And, you know, I wanted to tell you that story so that you can see what it looks like, right? You know, and this is the thing, like see, to me, this is a bigger victory than the day where it just all goes smooth and I just kick ass, right? And I'm just on point, right? It's a much bigger victory, and the reason why is because this is where the battle is won and lost, right? I think I did this video a while back. I was driving in the car, if I can remember it, and it was about like the most important thing. I think that's what I called it, or something like that, if we can find it. But essentially, I was saying that, you know, it's getting back up. It's like, it's not losing ground, right? It's losing small. It's winning big, losing small, and that's the key. And it's like these days are the ones that are pivotal, because you can have a lot of good days, and believe me, I've been there, and I've been, you know, on point, you know, running my game perfect as it could be. you know, whatever it is at the time, whether it be diet or fitness or work or whatever it is. And I've done that for a long period of time. And then there comes that one day or those couple of days or that week where you lose it, where you screw up and you destroy everything that you've built in that time, and you make more backwards progress in a single day, in a single moment, than you do in sometimes weeks, could be months, could be years of forward progress, right? This is how serious it is. So serious it is. So in those times, right, in those times when you're falling back, that's why it's so important to hold the line, because that's where the biggest victory is because the more days that I have like this, or like yesterday, where I hang on, where I get it done, where I figure out, yeah, you know, what is it going to take for me to make it, you know? And sometimes in order to do that, right, like yesterday, you have to give up the perfect, because you can't, because, you know, at that point, right, when I'm not able to make it the 5 miles for whatever reason, I can run the 2 and I can walk the 3. Like, I can try to force myself to do the 5, and maybe I make it, but what condition am I in? Am I going to Muay Thai, right? I'm going to fuck up things further, right? And then again with the meal, right? I'm supposed to be fasting until 7 o'clock or whatever, but all right, so how, if I do that and I try to make the Muay Thai class and I collapse and I can't actually like function in class, I don't actually get the workout, what's the point, right? So what can I do? You know, I don't have to go with reckless abandon and say, fuck it, I'm just going to eat whatever, but I can figure out the minimal that's going to get me by, that's going to keep me progressing forward instead of backward. And it becomes a really big win when you have one of those days and you make a tick of forward progress, which I did, right? If you can convert, I mean, think about it in your life. I know this is kind of a long video, but it's a really important concept. That's why I'm talking about this, is that if you can take the days when you completely fuck up and you go backwards and you destroy things, and you can quell those days and make them so that they're neutral, so that you're holding the line, or even minimize the damage so you barely go backwards. Okay, if you can do that, and then you can take the days where you'd go a little bit backwards and you actually make it so you go a little bit forwards. If you can consistently do that in your life, think about how much progress that you will make over time. Think about how far that you'll evolve in your life. Right, that's the thing, that's the real big difference. And if you play that out over the years of your life, over a decade, it's the difference between being a multi-millionaire and being homeless, right? It's that big of a difference, right? You know, if you make a choice one direction, it can lead to, you know, those small choices, that cumulative effect. Just something to think about here, you know, the next time that life is, you know, kicking you in the fucking nuts and you're just not feeling it, don't think about, again, don't think about the perfect. Think about just hanging on and just doing what you got to do to get by without fucking everything up. And you know, you gotta grit and bear it. You know, hang on, you know, like a fucking bulldog, and make it through the next day. Because then the next day you start over, right? But you got to make it through. You got to figure out a way to make it through and not derail yourself 100%. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you show your appreciation by giving a thumbs up. And if you're hanging out on the channel, I know a lot of you do, you just search for John Sonma's videos or whatever, just click subscribe so you get the videos. And if you haven't clicked the bell, yeah, it's a bit of a hassle, but go and take the time now to do it, because you don't want to miss videos like this, you know. And you know, making this a part of your daily ritual can really, it can change your life, right? You know, I'm not trying to brag, but it's something that, like, you got to have positive influences and inputs into your brain. And so, you know, I know you're watching the video now and you're like, oh, well, you know, I'll just watch it when I see it. You know, click the bell. Then you'll at least see all the videos that come out. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.